Welcome back to Idaho Today. You know, when we think of health and wellness, we tend to think of ourselves or our family and our children. But another important part of the family is obviously our furry friends. And as our kids go back to school and we head back to the office for work, our pets may go hours on end without any attention or supervision. So we obviously want to make sure that they are home safe and also comfortable as well.
And that's why we've got you covered. We're joined by Maddie from Simply Cats today to tell us about how we can make sure our pets are safe at home. Maddie, first and foremost, who is that cutie behind you?
This is Leo. And
Hi,
it seems
Leo.
like you were talking about him because he stood up, but I call him Mr. Fancy Pants because he's just so fancy.
That's, you know what's
He's
funny?
super cute.
That's what Lauren calls me at home, is Mr. Fancy Pants. So
nice.
with school and work and so many different things, we're now in the season where a lot of our pets are left at home for extended periods of time. I've been there. I don't even want to tell the story. I missed a lunch break once and I had a bunch of presents left off in my living room. So
Yeah.
let's talk about just that extended period of time, and this could pose a threat to pet safety and some of those things or tips or tricks that we should look out for.
Yeah, so, first thing, always make sure, especially if you have cats, doors and windows are closed. You don't want your kitty getting out while you're gone and having no idea where they are. And you want to make sure, toys such as string and ribbon toys that they could eat because they're just bored. Those are very dangerous to ingest, so make sure those are put away. Always make sure your microchip information is up to date. If your cat's not microchipped, get it microchipped so that if it does go missing, you don't have to worry about finding them because the person who finds them can call you and say, I have your cat, and then bring them home to you.
Yeah, that's such great advice too with the microchipping, because I do know some cat owners that their cats have been like Houdini.
Yeah.
And even though you do close those doors and those windows, they get out. So you definitely need to make sure that there's a way for them to be identified. Now, I mean, we're all heading back to the office. We're all going back to school. After a time period, I think, where a lot of people were able to be home often.
Yeah, COVID really helped with the pet and human bond.
Right. Oh,
that's
totally.
for sure.
That's
They're like, oh,
exactly
my best
correct.
friend's home all day. This
Exactly.
is awesome.
Yeah, it was great for them.
Yeah.
But now that we're gone often, I imagine that this might create a bit of anxiety in some of our pets. So what are some of the warning signs that as pet owners we can keep an eye out for?
Yeah, so some of the warning signs to look out for is just changes in their behavior. Are they hiding a lot more than they used to? Are they not eating as much? Are their potty habits changing? If they're inappropriately urinating, that could be a result of stress that causes a medical condition called urinary cystitis, and that needs to be treated. And if they're having diarrhea or they're vomiting a lot, all those signs of stress, they manifest as physical symptoms, and it can lead to medical conditions that you need to get addressed.
Wow. Yeah.
So if that happens, you take your cat to the vet, and you might have to make some changes to make sure they're less anxious.
And if they have anxiety, is that something what are some tips you can do? Like maybe, I think all, pet parents can tell sometimes when their cat or their dog has a little bit of anxiety, yeah, right? Normally you can tell all the time. You're with them all the time. So if, let's say, my pet has anxiety, what can I do before I go to work to help that out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's a lot you can do, and a lot of times an anxious cat can also become a very bored cat because it has nothing to do while you're gone, and it's used to snuggling with you, playing with you throughout the day. And so what I would recommend is, play with your cat a little bit before work, get that pent up energy released. There's automatic toys that you can buy that you can kind of turn on so they can play with while you're gone. We're huge fans of bird feeders over at Simply Cats because cats can sit and watch birds all day long.
Wow.
It's such
That's great advice. I never thought about
I
that.
don't want a bird feeder. I can just sit and watch birds eat all day. It's not just
I
for
know.
cats.
It's for Joey too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's some great advice. You bring up the topic of activity, right? Because I think also this is applicable as well to dog owners. Yeah. When your animal's cooped up all day long, maybe they go in a kennel, or like you said, maybe your cat's in like a really confined space. You get home, that activity is probably just as important as it is before you leave as when you come home as well, to really make sure that they're being engaged with, right?
Yes, yeah, that's really important because cats, they have a reputation for being very, solitude and independent, but they need a lot of enrichment and mental stimulation. So when you come home, they need a big play session. If they like to cuddle with you, let them cuddle with you. If they want you to just pet their head, just pet their head. Let them have that time that they want with you since they didn't have it all day. And that's really important because when a cat doesn't get that, it's going to do things that is just considered bad behavior. It might start tearing up the furniture. It might start knocking things over, eating things they shouldn't. And they're just doing that because they want something to do and they need to release that pent up energy. And you can even take your cat on a harness walk. If
Oh, cute.
That's
you have a
awesome.
pumping cat.
That is awesome. Best place to go for more information?
Simplycats.org. If you go to our resources tab, we have educational information. So you can find everything you want to know about the best way to give your cat enrichment, how to look for, signs of a sick cat, an anxious cat. And I'd also recommend the Cat Doctor. They're a feline only veterinarian in
cool.
Boise. They have a lot of educational information on their website. And Jackson Galaxy's website, he's, the cat man. So he has everything.
The Cat Whisperer.
The
Yeah,
Cat
that's
Whisperer,
awesome. Well,
yes.
thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it. It's certainly something that a lot of pet parents are concerned about during this time.
Yes.
So
Some
thank you
great
so
advice.
much. You're the best. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you.